The Fed dominates the macro week. Officials are worried about tepid inflation and its impact on the rate path. But the balance sheet is in focus. Recent comments suggest the runoff will start before any more rate increases. For more on the upcoming meeting, we have Bloomberg economics reporter Jeanna Smialek. Jeanna, everyone's talking about balance sheet normalization, which should come first, whether it really matters, how much it would impact the economy, depending. The ultimate goal is for the balance sheet to be, tapered down to roughly $2 trillion by 2022. Is it really going to cause dislocations in the market if it starts in September, October, November, December?
I think it's a good question. I think that it probably isn't, as long as it's well broadcast. I think when you talk to rate strategists, when you talk to economists, most people are saying that the Fed's kind of done a masterful job at broadcasting to markets exactly what they're going to be doing with the balance sheet. And so there's not too much room for dislocation, just because markets have mostly priced this in already. But the proof will be in the pudding. Why
are we not seeing rates move then? If we are expecting some kind of beginning of normalization, shouldn't the Treasury market be reacting somehow?
I've been talking to a lot of people about this, and one thing that rate strategists will point out to you again and again is that you have to look at all this stuff as a counterfactual, right? You would expect more movement, but you don't know what would have happened if we hadn't gotten this balance sheet plan, if we hadn't gotten rate hikes this year. And so I think that's an important thing to keep in mind when you're looking at movements in markets so far this year.
Why wait until September? Some economists I notice are saying that it could happen this week.
Yeah, so if you look at Mike Feroli from JP Morgan's a good example. He says there's a 1 in 5 chance. And I think that's pretty consistent with what I'm hearing from all the economists I talk to. A lot of people think it's totally possible that they could make this announcement in July. The reason people seem to think that they won't is that Janet Yellen didn't cue it up during her Senate testimony. She had an opportunity to really clearly signal July if that's what the Fed wants to do. She didn't do it. So most people think September as a result.
Right. Now, is there any possibility that with things stalling and the 10-year break-even rate down at 1.73% or something, that we'll get nothing in July and we'll get nothing in September because maybe the economy can't take it?
It's a good question. I think that what we've heard from Fed officials is they pretty much want to get going on this. I don't think it really matters so much what the data look like, what the economy looks like in between now and September. They have this queued up. The economy, by a broad number of indicators, looks pretty good. And sort of like Lael Brainerd said during her most recent speech on this, it almost doesn't even matter what inflation does. She sort of queued up this move regardless of whether inflation moves up to a higher path. Now, they want to see higher inflation before they move rates again, but they sort of made that a non-important factor when it comes to balance sheet.